Hey guys, welcome to today's YouTober video. So for today, I'm sharing with you my top 7 ways that I manage stress and how I handle stress. I think moving into the holiday season, I know we're still in mid-October right now, but we're getting to that point where we're starting to move into the holidays. And if you're anything like me, that can definitely add some stress to your plate. So I just wanted to share the top things that I do that help me manage my stress that have been really beneficial in getting me just back into a high vibes, like positive mindset type of a place. I definitely have been trying to focus more on keeping my thoughts positive and keeping my mindset positive and just really being aware of my thoughts. So I thought I would share with you the 7 things that I like to do if I am feeling stressed out. And while I am kind of targeting this more towards going into the holiday season, it can really be used in any situation. So if you're interested in hearing my 7 ways that I handle my stress, then just keep watching. The first way that I manage stress is just to go outside. I know the weather is getting a little bit cooler if you live somewhere where you have seasons change in weather like I do, but I still am making it a point to actively get outside as much as I can. So I still walk Bailey every morning. Sometimes if it's been colder in the morning, I've been doing it more midday and then at night, but just get outside, do anything. Even if it's just going for a run outside or walking around the park, even for a few minutes. I've noticed a difference even if it's just 5 minutes outside. At my apartment complex, we have to walk to get our mail. So even just doing that quick few minute walk to go get the mail, it makes a difference because I love seeing the fall leaves too. It's just a beautiful time of year. But going outside really helps me just cleanse and clear my head. Even just feeling the wind on my face and being present in that moment helps me feel better. So if you're someone that's getting really stressed out, I would highly recommend just going outside because I feel like it's just so refreshing to just pause, leave everything and just take a break and go outside for a few minutes. My next tip is to journal. Of course, that has to be on my list. I talk about journaling all the time on my channel, so if you're new here and you are interested in journaling and all things bullet journal planner related, definitely subscribe. But I journal daily. I at least journal 6 days a week currently. I'm trying to build up to 7 days a week, but journaling has been so cleansing for me and it's so rejuvenating. Even if you're someone that's never journaled before, even if you just take out a scratch sheet of paper and just write down everything that's going on in your head. A lot of times I think for me when I'm stressed, it's just because I have so much bouncing around in my head. So even just taking a minute to dump everything out on paper is really helpful for helping me just feel better, feel calmer, and feel less stressed. My next tip is to make sure you're journaling or even just writing things down, even on a post-it note. Just writing down everything that's going on in your head can be really centering. The third thing that I like to do is to just read an uplifting book. I've actually posted my fall reading list recently, so if you saw that video, you can check that out. But I am a big reader. I read all the time. Even if you're not one to read, you can always try something like Audible or something along those lines, some type of listening if you don't actually feel like reading or if you don't have time. You know, back when I was commuting for work and I was driving 45 minutes to an hour one way each day, I did listen to a lot of audiobooks. That's another option too. But for me, if I am reading, not that there's anything wrong with fiction books, but I've just found that if I'm reading kind of mindless reading like fiction books a lot, I tend to start to use that as like an escape from my life, and I don't ever want to feel like I need an escape from my life. So I make it a point to, if I start to feel like that, I shift back to nonfiction, which again, reading more positive, uplifting material, because I've just found that I feel better when I'm reading those types of books. It keeps me energized, focused, and it keeps me really zeroed in on like what I'm doing with my life. A really good thing, like I have a whole stack of books on my nightstand right now of all just positive, uplifting personal development books, whether they're goal setting or business related or leadership related or confidence related, like any spectrum of that. Spirituality, I've been reading a few books on that. Anything that's just in the realm of helping you, you know, feel better and live your best life and all of that. Those books have really helped me when I'm feeling at times of stress. Sometimes I've turned to fiction books if I'm feeling stressed out, but personally, I think that actually does more harm than good, at least for me, just in my personal experience, because I feel like it makes me end up just reading that to escape and the stress doesn't really go anywhere. Whereas when I'm reading books that are really uplifting and really positive, I tend to think of more solutions to why I'm stressed and all of that rather than trying to escape from it. I hope that makes sense. Read an uplifting, positive book to get you in a better mindset. My fourth tip for managing and handling your stress is to make plans. I know this sounds really simple, but I've found that in times of stress, whether it's personal related, work related, whatever it may be, putting it aside for even just a day or a night or a couple hours and making plans. So going to get lunch with a friend, making plans to have dinner with your significant other or whatever it may be. Just making making plans to do something that's not focusing on what you're stressed about, because when we focus on it, we are attracting more of it into our life. So if you're spending all this time focused on this thing that you're stressed about, you're literally attracting more of that thing that you're stressed about into your life. You're attracting that energy. So I found that switching it and focusing more on just making plans and being present with the person that I'm with has been really helpful. This next tip is a recent addition to my list. It's definitely not something that I have always done, but I have found it so helpful to learn a new hobby or skill. I've done this with Skillshare, where I just kind of learn a new hobby from there. I've taken classes, like found different Groupon of things that interest me. So just doing something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone and makes you try something new can really help you when you're managing your stress. Getting myself out of my comfort zone and always trying something new has really helped me just manage my stress in general, and it helps me gain a new skill, which is really cool. So I've done all kinds of things. I've taken like cooking classes, I've done calligraphy on Skillshare. I've done so many things. I just really love trying new things and learning new skills. I think naturally getting out of our comfort zone, while it can be a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, by getting us out of that comfort zone and into just a totally new environment or a new experience can really help diminish your feeling of stress, because you're getting yourself out of your day-to-day routine. Tip 6 is to create something. I love creating all the things, whether you're bullet journaling or painting, creating anything. Even cooking, I think, falls into this category. And honestly, for me, even cleaning falls into this category. Just doing something with your physical being to get you in the flow and just feeling good about making something. I think when we make things with our hands, or when we're using our hands, I think that can be so therapeutic, and I think it can be really just cleansing and rejuvenating and can help you feel a lot better. So for me, anytime I'm stressed, I always make it a point to either clean something, or I'll create a new collection in my bullet journal, or maybe practice my calligraphy. You're creating something, you're making something from nothing. And I think that that's really cool. And again, it's making you take your focus from what you're stressed about and putting it onto something that is more manageable, that you can reasonably do. So by creating something small, such as like a collection in your bullet journal, or getting a little bit artistic, like I like watercolor painting too, so I've even done that. Something like that just gets you to focus on the task at hand rather than being obsessed with whatever it is that you're stressed about. Plus, it's actually been shown there's actual therapeutic benefits to creating something artistically. And then my last tip is my most important tip, so I hope you are still watching. This last tip has been something that I definitely have learned this entire year. I feel like it's been the theme of this year, and it's just to be present. Like, there is so much in our lives to be grateful for if we're actually present in the current moment. And I think it took me a really long time to start to realize this. And then, like, one of those things that you kind of get slammed into your brain all the time, but until it just finally clicks, you don't actually understand it. Being present in the moment and not regretting the past or worrying about the future, just being present right here in the moment that we have, I think is so powerful. I think that when you listening to this video, you know, you are paying attention in this moment. That's where you're at. You are right here. You're not in the future yet. You're not in the past. You're right in this moment. And I think recognizing that, the more that we can recognize that in our life, the more we can look around and appreciate that throughout our day, I think brings more of that good feeling of gratitude to us. I have just found myself going through my day, when I have been more focused on being mindful and present, I don't get as stressed about things as easily, because I know, like, in this moment, everything is okay. And in this moment, I have air in my lungs, I have a roof over my head, I have a voice that can talk to you and eyes that can see you. And I think that that's so important to recognize. Totally understand that life gets crazy and stressful, and I know that things can just feel so overwhelming, because I have been there, can promise you that. I think when we take the time to just be present and look around and think of the things that we're grateful for in this moment right now. For me, I love that I am able to film this video for you in the middle of the afternoon. I am so grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that Bailey is just hanging out with his bone, chewing like he always does when I'm filming, and the weather is beautiful, and I can look out in front of me and see all of the beautiful fall leaves. Like, just being present and aware of those things helps put into perspective what it is that we're stressed about. And I know that this is one of the biggest things that has helped me. Honestly, this and journaling has probably been the two that have gone hand in hand with helping me the most with managing my stress, helping with my anxiety. It's so transformative, and when you get into the habit of doing it, it really can change your just entire outlook, and it's actually incredible. So that is my biggest tip on how to manage manage stress, have just found it so beneficial to just be present in the moment. And you know, when you're hanging out with friends, or when you're playing with your dog, or whatever it is, even when you're at work, stopping for a moment and being like, wow, I am so thankful that I have this right now, whatever it may be, or that I'm experiencing this, or that I'm breathing in this moment. I think that's such a cool thing that as human beings, we actually have the capacity to think about and realize. Sometimes it can be easy to take that for granted when we get into the hustle and bustle of everyday life. And I think it's important to realize that we have this moment that we're in right now. And honestly, our lives are composed of those moments that we're in every second of every day. I think it's important to recognize that and be grateful for it. That is my biggest tip for handling stress. Flip it a little bit, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just find something that you can be thankful for right now. I think it's so helpful. Those are all my tips on how to manage your stress. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this YouTuber series. If you are new here, I am uploading a video every single day in the month of October, so please be sure to subscribe. I hope y'all are having a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye guys.